The baseball world went nuts when Shohei Ohtani made history as the highest paid athlete in the world after he signed a massive $700 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers back in 2023. And now, things are about to get even crazier because from the looks of it, our baseball golden boy is smack dab in the middle of one heck of a nasty scandal. Word on the street is that Ohtani's best friend and interpreter, Ippei Mitsuhara, was fired, and the reason will blow your mind. Want to find out why? Stay tuned till the end, because we're about to spill all the juicy details. If you know a bit about Ohtani's game, you'd know our golden boy isn't exactly fluent in English. He's Japanese. So, when he jumped into MLB in 2017 with the Los Angeles Angels, navigating team talks and press conferences wasn't exactly a breeze. That's where Ippei Mitsuhara came in handy. Mitsuhara became Ohtani's right-hand man, handling all the translation duties. As time went on, Mitsuhara and Ohtani became more than just colleagues. They practically lived in each other's pockets, spending more time together than Ohtani probably did with his own wife. Their bond was rock solid. Mitsuhara even stepped up as Ohtani's catcher during the 2021 MLB Home Run Derby, borrowing gear and practicing with other players to nail the role. He even caught some of Ohtani's bullpen sessions. During the 2021-22 MLB lockout, Mitsuhara took it to the next level by quitting his Angels job just to stick with Ohtani. Plus, this made it easier to dodge those pesky rules about players and staff being in contact. And when Ohtani made the big move to the Dodgers, guess who tagged along? Yep, you guessed it, Mitsuhara was right there by his side. For over 6 years, Ohtani and Mitsuhara were like two peas in a pod, practically inseparable. You couldn't catch sight of the Dodgers' two-way star without Mitsuhara shadowing him. They were like me and my shadow, always together. But then March 2024 rolled around and everything took a sharp turn. You see, it all kicked off with reports from a federal investigation targeting a bookmaking operation allegedly run by a guy named Matthew Bowyer. Late last year, feds had already raided Bowyer's home as part of investigations into a massive gambling operation in the area. And then, somehow, Ohtani's name got thrown into the mix because they discovered his interpreter was tangled up in some shady business with Bowyer. Apparently, Mitsuhara, who had allegedly been placing bets on DraftKings, crossed paths with Bowyer, the bookmaker, at a poker game in San Diego and got caught up in some gambling. Now, we all know it's illegal in most U.S. states, but Mitsuhara later claimed he thought it was all above the board to place bets with Bowyer, supposedly. Fast forward to 2023, and bank records reveal Ohtani's name on two hefty $500,000 wire transfers sent to an associate of Bowyer's. The transfers were labeled as loan in the description section. Now, according to Mitsuhara's side of the story, he came clean with Ohtani and asked for a hand. I mean, they were buds, right? So Ohtani agreed to chip in and cover $4.5 million of Mitsuhara's gambling debts, even though he wasn't exactly thrilled that Mitsuhara had gotten mixed up in something illegal. With that, he logged onto his own computer and sent the wires under Mitsuhara's supervision. Or at least that's what's happening according to Mitsuhara. He even granted ESPN an interview talking about it, which they later released. Now here's where things get really interesting. Right after Ohtani rocked his first game with the Dodgers at their MLB season opener in Seoul, South Korea, on March 20th, team officials already knew what was going on after seeing ESPN's report. So they warned players about a negative story that was about to hit the headlines later that day. Mitsuhara also steps up, apologizes, and owns up to his gambling addiction. But what's even crazier is the fact that he does a complete 180, flipping his story upside down. He now insists that Ohtani had no clue about his gambling shenanigans or debts. That is to say, Ohtani didn't even make those wire transfers. Anyways, that didn't help his case one bit, because after his gambling confession, Mitsuhara got fired, and immediately after, Ohtani's lawyers dropped a statement accusing him of stealing millions of dollars from Ohtani's bank accounts and placing bets with a bookmaker under federal investigation. Now, I don't know about you, but the whole situation has got us scratching our heads and craving answers to a bunch of burning questions. Why spill the beans to ESPN only to do a complete 180 the very next day? And how on earth did that money leave Ohtani's account without his knowledge? Did he really have no idea? But hey, there's only one person who can set the record straight, and that's Ohtani himself. So you can bet reporters were chomping at the bit the next day, eager to get the scoop. But following the Dodgers' tough loss to the Padres, Ohtani was guarded by team PR officials at his locker. And to add to the chaos, he slips out without saying a word to the reporters.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Now, I get that reporters can be persistent, but with such serious allegations swirling around, it's hard to understand why they'd block him from answering those burning questions if he truly had nothing to hide. Now, one thing is certain, Mizuhara's neck deep in legal hot water, that's for sure. But the burning question on everyone's mind is whether Ohtani was in the loop and okay with covering Bowyer's debts. When Mizuhara did a complete 180 and pointed the finger at himself, ESPN's reporter didn't beat around the bush, asking if he took the money without Ohtani's knowledge. But Mizuhara dodged the question, leaving us all hanging. And even though we're not exactly sure what's going on, if Ohtani did indeed send that money like Mizuhara initially claimed, it raises some serious questions about Ohtani's involvement. It's a messy situation, and until we get some clear answers, we're all just spinning our wheels and wondering what really went down. But hey, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that Shohei comes out clean in all of this. Because if he's not, we might just be looking at another Pete Rose situation. I mean, if you remember correctly, Rose was banished from baseball for a lifetime on live television, broadcast nationwide. This was all thanks to his gambling habits, with him betting as much as $30,000 a day. In fact, one time, baseball's director of security even made a trip to Cincinnati to discuss Rose's debts and connections with bookies tied to the mob.
What is that which gives me joy?
Dames.
Baseball.
Now, that kind of association has landed other players in hot water before. But despite the warnings, MLB let all his shenanigans slide. That is, until early 1989. That's when Major League Baseball received a tip that Rose wasn't just betting on football and basketball. He was gambling on his own sport, even on his own team, the Cincinnati Reds. Now that's insane. And also the last straw because he was kicked out of the game right after. Now, circling back to Ohtani, it'd be a real downer if he got tangled up in anything shady. With that massive $700 million contract and his status as a baseball sensation, any serious wrongdoing could jeopardize everything he's worked for. But hey, it's only fair we give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah? Tell us what you think in the comments. And hey, while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to stay updated on all your favorite players and everything baseball.